I asked you what your biggest questions in college football this year were. Phil says, well, how good will Penn State really be? So I went to producer Jesse and I said, all right, what is success for y'all this year? Last year, you went to the Big Ten title, you went to the playoff, you won 2 games in the playoff, you got to the semifinals. So what is success this year? And this is official from producer Jesse. He says they have to win a big game in the regular season. So that's Oregon at home, that's Ohio State on the road. They need to win one of those, and they need to win either the Big Ten title or they need to win the whole thing. Now, I asked Jesse, all right, what happens if you beat Oregon at home, but you lose to Ohio State? You win the Big Ten title, so kind of like Oregon did last year, but you get smoked in the first game you play in the playoff. And he dismissed it. He doesn't think that's going to happen. So, look, I really believe in this team. I believe in Penn State. It's sort of one of those, if it doesn't happen now, when is it ever going to happen? I'm talking about winning a national title. I'm talking about competing for the Big Ten and competing for a national championship. That's my expectation for them this year. I've got dependability at the quarterback position. You notice when you say that, people say, Drew Allar's not elite. Hey, what if he's not? What if he just plays solid and dependably? What if he does that? And they got those tailbacks, 2,000-yard caliber tailbacks. Got a really good offensive line. I think they made some pivotal moves at the wide receiver position in the portal. Went and got Jim Knowles as their DC. That should be a top 10, 15 caliber defensive unit. Honestly, the profile of that team may be a little bit more offensively slanted than people expect. Wouldn't surprise me, but they don't even have to rev their engine until week 5. Like their schedule, if you're worried that all of the preseason hype will go to their head, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because their first losable game is September 27th against Oregon at home. Not at noon, by the way. That is a primetime kickoff. So my wish, our wish, has finally become a reality. But they're playing Nevada, FIU, and Villanova. Then a bye before they play Oregon. Hey, quick timeout. Check and see if you're subscribed to the channel. If you're not, make sure you do. It's free. It doesn't obligate you or sign you up for anything. It just helps us keep the channel free. All right, back to the show. I mean, it's an Ohio State vibe. This last year, Ohio State had the vibe of we're all in on 2024. And that didn't mean they were going to, disappear as a program beyond that. But I mean, I remember being up at Ohio State, sitting in Mark Pantoni's office, and he said, it is 2024. We're all in on it. And they won the national title. But what if they didn't? I mean, how draining does that feel? Well, Penn State even more so, because I don't know that I can just blindly count on Penn State to reload like I can sort of count on Ohio State to. So this is really, really, really all in. We're all in on 2025. It'll just, here's the thing. Okay, so it's very weird. You got to be a college football fan to understand this. There were a lot of doubters. Going into last year, James Franklin and Penn State had a lot of doubters. And the doubters would say they can't win big games, they can't get over the hump, they're just good, but they'll never be great. And so you would look at that and you would say, wait, but then they went to the Big Ten title game and they made it all the way to the semifinals of the playoffs. So clearly that silenced the doubters, right? It did not at all. The doubters still have every bit of ammo that they used to have, because they would look at that and say, okay, yeah, but our critiques were that you can't win the big games and you can't get over the hump. And all you did last year was lose to Ohio State at home again. You went to the Big Ten title game and you lost to Oregon. So you got 2 shots against the big boys. You lost. Yeah, you made the playoff. And yeah, you won a couple of games. Who'd you beat? You beat Boise and SMU. You absolutely should beat them. And then you got paired against an equal competitor in Notre Dame, and you lost. So you didn't do anything last year that you have been criticized of not being able to do before. That's what a doubter would say. There is merit to it, by the way. I don't necessarily even disagree. So this is the year, more so than any year in recent history that I can recall, that Penn State should be geared up to silence that. Forget about doubters. Just prove it to yourself. It's there. It's there. It's not the end of the world. if you don't do it. James Franklin doesn't just retire if they don't do it, but it is a failure if they're not competing for a national championship this year.